Let me ask you something. What if the miracle you've been praying for was already standing on the sidewalk, waiting for your eyes to slow down long enough to see it? What if God's lesson didn't come through thunder, but through a quiet child with roses in his hands? Stay with me until the end, because this story might change how you see wealth, kindness, and what it truly means to live. And if you believe in hope, family, and second chances, subscribe to Echoes and Struggles, where kindness meets emotion and every struggle echoes hope. His name was Adrian Blake, 48 years old, a man who owned 3 companies, 5 cars, and not a single moment of peace. He lived in a glass house above Los Angeles, the kind of place where sunlight shines through the windows but never reaches the heart. He had power, followers, and everything money could buy. Everything except meaning. His late wife, Grace, used to tell him, "Adrian, you collect things that don't hug back." He laughed then, but now, years after she was gone, her words haunted the empty hallways. He drove every morning in his black Rolls Royce, the paint so polished it reflected his own loneliness. People admired him, but admiration isn't the same as love. That morning, the one where his life would change, the city was alive with sunshine and traffic. The world moved fast. But at a stoplight on Hope Street, something small and fragile caught his eye. There, standing under a pale blue sky, was Omar Malik, 12 years old. Thin, warm caramel skin, round brown eyes that held both sadness and light. His blue hoodie was faded, his jeans frayed, and his old sneakers barely held together. But in his hands he carried beauty. A small white bucket filled with red roses, petals soft and bright against the dust of the city. He wasn't selling flowers. He was selling hope, one rose at a time. When the Rolls Royce stopped beside him, Omar smiled shyly. "Sir, would you like to buy a rose?" $10. "They're for my mother." Adrian looked down from his leather seat, sunglasses reflecting the boy's tiny figure. He wasn't cruel, just numb. He smirked. $10? "Tell you what," he said, amused. "Sell me these roses, in Arabic, and I'll pay you $100,000. Omar blinked, unsure if it was a joke. I don't understand." Adrian chuckled, shaking his head. "Exactly. See, kid, life doesn't pay you for innocence." He started to roll up the window. But Omar suddenly spoke, his voice small but steady. "بيع لي هذه الورود يا سيدي فهي من أجل أمي." "Sell me these roses, sir. They're for my mother." The sunlight hit his face just then, and for the first time in years, Adrian saw something pure looking back at him. "Tell me, my friend, when was the last time you saw something pure and didn't look away? When was the last time you gave, not because you had enough, but because your heart couldn't stay still?" If you've ever felt that quiet nudge inside, comment, "Kindness still matters," because that's where the miracle begins. Adrian couldn't drive away. Someone stopped him. He opened his car door, stepped into the sunlight, and knelt beside the boy. "What did you just say?" Omar smiled, shyly repeating, "It means, sell me these roses, sir. They're for my mother." Adrian swallowed hard. For a man who had everything, he suddenly felt small. He took out his wallet and handed Omar $200. "Keep the roses," he said softly. Omar's eyes widened. "But sir, I can't take that much." Adrian smiled. This time, it was real. "You just did." Omar thanked him, not with words, but with the kind of gratitude that lingers. Then he ran off, sunlight bouncing off the white bucket like a small halo. That afternoon, Adrian couldn't work. Emails, meetings, profits. None of it felt important anymore. He kept seeing that boy's face, the roses, the sincerity. On impulse, he drove back to Hope Street. The boy wasn't there, but a small cafe owner, Samuel Reyes, recognized the car. "You looking for the flower kid?" "Yes, do you know him?" Adrian asked. "Sure do. He lives nearby with his mother, Layla. Sweet kid. His dad passed. Cancer. She cleans houses. Hard life." Adrian stood still. guilt flooding his chest. All his wealth, and yet this child had shown him what real wealth looked like. He asked for their address. When he arrived, he saw a small apartment, cracked walls, laundry fluttering in the sunshine. Inside, Layla Malik, mid-30s, olive skin, tired eyes, opened the door. Her son ran up behind her, clutching his bucket of roses. Omar's eyes lit up. "Mom! It's him, the man who bought all my flowers." Adrian stepped forward, awkward but humble. "Your son reminded me of something I lost." He placed an envelope on the small table. Enough money to pay their rent for a year. Layla covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Sir, we can't accept." "Please," Adrian interrupted gently. "It's not charity. It's gratitude." Weeks passed. Adrian couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just a chance encounter. It was a calling. He started visiting Omar and his mother often, bringing groceries, helping with school supplies. But what he received was peace. One afternoon, Omar ran to him after school, holding a small handmade card. On it was drawn a bunch of roses, and under it, in careful handwriting, "Thank you for seeing me." That night, as the golden sunset washed over the city, Adrian sat in silence. For the first time in years, he prayed. Not for profit, but for purpose. He sold one of his luxury cars and opened a small foundation in Grace's name, the Rose Project. It helps single mothers and street children, giving them education, food, and hope. And on opening day, standing beside Omar and Layla, a reporter asked, "Mr. Blake, what made you start all this?" Adrian looked into the camera, sunlight soft on his face, eyes no longer hollow. "Because one day I met a boy selling roses under the sun, and through his kindness, God sold me back my soul." Omar smiled, holding a single red rose high. "So I ask you, watching this now, when someone crosses your path, tired, unnoticed, holding their own small bucket of roses, will you rush past, or will you stop, listen, and give, even if it's just your time? Because sometimes it only takes one act of kindness to buy back a heart that money could never touch. If you believe kindness still changes lives, comment, "Kindness is my wealth." Like this video, share it with someone who's forgotten how powerful compassion can be, and subscribe to Echoes and Struggles, where every story reminds the world true wealth isn't found in what you earn, but in who you lift.